All right, everybody. How's it going? Thanks for being back here. Appreciate you guys showing up every day. That's awesome. I'm Nick Baldwin. Today, we're going to discuss seminars, buyer, seller seminars. If any of you were at family reunion, you heard some great information about seminars and some agents that are kind of hosting those on a regular basis. Some agents are doing those as their primary lead generation, whether it be in person or virtual, either one is fine. But I just wanted to say that, it's important to do seminars whenever you can, because it's really a great way to just cut to the chase and see who's motivated, who really wants to know, who wants to learn information. Organizing seminars it's a great way to showcase your expertise in your market. It's a great way to engage with, prospective buyers and sellers. And like I said, much like open houses, but I do feel like seminars are probably going to bring you more motivated potential buyers and sellers than open houses will, because these people went out of their way to either log in or show up in person to really learn about what the process entails. And there's some steps here that I put together that I feel are important when you're building a seminar or hosting one or planning one. So let's get started. First, we've talked about this a lot, identifying your target audience. Who do you want this seminar to be for? Are you doing first-time buyers? Are you doing sellers? Are you doing investors? Whatever the case may be, just figure out who the seminar is for, what market it's going to be in. Is it a luxury seminar? Is it a vacation market? Just figure out who the seminar is for and just really dive into that. So we've talked a lot about identifying your target audience, and that really has to go with a lot of things that you're doing. Your client avatar, who do you want to work with? And this is a great way to get in front of a large group of those people. Obviously, you want to choose a relevant topic. So you want to choose a topic that caters to the interests and the needs of your target audience, whether it be home buying tips, market trends, selling strategies. I mean, first of all, market trends should always be part of it, right? But what's the main topic? Home buying, selling, whatever the case may be, decide what people want to learn about. And a great way to do that is to kind of survey your database, right? Like, if you've got a decent amount of people in your database who you've been cultivating, a great email or video to send out with some sort of form to ask them to indicate what they would prefer to learn about. This can help you analyze, what type of information would be most beneficial to the people that you've been nurturing over a period of time. So surveying your database, surveying your social media friends, off social media, whatever it is, you want to make sure that you have a topic that is most interesting to the people that you are connected to. You want to look for hot topics or concerns in the real estate market. Like, what's a super relevant topic right now? Maybe it's interest rates. Maybe people feel like they don't have the buying power. Maybe it's down payment myths and things that they don't understand about those things, different types of loans and so on and so forth. There's like I said, property laws, zoning, whatever it might be, a seminar explaining those types of changes or topics could be very beneficial, especially if it's something that's in the news a lot, that a lot of experts are talking about. Another thing you want to definitely do is come up with topics that provide actionable steps or checklists. For example, steps to prepare your home for sale in the spring or in the winter or in the summer, right? things that you need to do to get the house ready, staging, photography, any sort of like, low cost minor renovations, what buyers are looking for right now, what different demographics of buyers are looking for right now. Also, how to purchase your first home, what to look for in a first home. Those are all practical and actionable. And you notice like a lot of the things that we've been talking about on these calls involve steps, like the 10 steps to do this, the 10 steps to do that. People like to know like, okay, it's only 10 steps. That's super easy. And I can remember that. So create some sort of checklist or step process that people would be able to follow in a very easy way, which brings me to make sure the topic isn't too complex for the general audience, right? Like a lot of the stuff that we talk about amongst each other, with the different types of words that we use within the industry, a lot of people don't understand that stuff. So make it easy to understand while you're still providing those valuable insights. And, we're going to talk later about things that you could hand out during the seminar. And part of what those things that you hand out could be like some sort of, glossary of different real estate terms that they should be aware of, so they're not scared off by, big fancy loan words or real estate words or inspection words. You also want to make sure that you're choosing a topic that allows you to showcase the things that you're really good at, right? So if you're not very aware of commercial real estate or investments portfolios, don't do a seminar on that, right? Like make sure that you really know what you're talking about, because it's going to help you build trust and position you as a reliable source of information. So don't do something that's too complicated, and do something that you feel you could talk for a long time about and create handouts and slides that could really show off your knowledge. And you want to make sure, because we're all about branding and marketing, that you're aligning with your brand. So the topic should align with your brand and the services that you offer. If your brand focuses on luxury, do a seminar on luxury. If you're like Phil is saying, is it better to rent or buy? That's a great topic. So a seminar on luxury home trends, investing, that could be suitable. So align the seminar with what you are known for in your market. So like what we said before, that has to go along with your target audience. Who do you want to work with? What type of clients? What type of price point? So this is a great opportunity to get those people in a room. If you want to increase your price point, you could do a seminar that's going to appeal to people looking at a higher price point. So you get a lot of people in a room in person or virtually, and there you go. That's a great way to increase your price point if that's something you want to do. So your brand consistency, this is a great way to show off your brand, take it offline. You want to maintain consistency in your visual elements, like your colors, your logos, the typography, the imagery across the materials associated with the seminar, promotional materials, handouts, your presentation, digital resources to give attendees. Everything should be consistent. Everything should use the same colors. And this will help you solidify the way your brand looks when you take it offline, which is most of it's going to be online. So now you're taking it offline. And this goes without saying, but it needs to be said. Make sure that your materials are both digitally and physically are high quality. So, for a seminar, you're going to want to get them professionally printed or print them on nice cardstock. Because if it's like a flimsy piece of printer paper, that's going to resonate in a negative way to the people who are there, right? Like if you give them a really nicely not bound, but something that's put together maybe in some sort of binder. You could go to Staples or Kinko's. They do very inexpensively. They'll put those things together for you, and it's definitely worth it because this reflects well on your brand's reputation and your commitment to excellence. If they see a flimsy piece of paper in black and white, that's going to reflect on how you market properties for sale. So this is a great way to see, for people to see the way that you pay attention to detail. Your website and social media platforms should reflect the branding of your seminar. So promoting the seminar on these platforms, like using branded graphics and content, provide an easy registration process through the website, and maintaining your brand consistency. Phil says that he gets a lot of compliments on his high quality paper, even at open houses, because you'll stand out against all the cheap paper. Exactly. Like there's so many cheap feature sheets that you can see like somebody just printed off their computer. It's nice to have thick cardstock. And by the way, after the seminar, you got to gather some feedback from attendees to understand how well the seminar aligned with their expectations. Use that feedback to improve, ensure better brand alignment in future seminars. And I'm going to give you a few examples in a little bit on how you can collect that feedback without running around the room and handing out feedback forms and trying to collect it all. So it'll all be digital, and I'll explain how you can do that in a few minutes. But let's get into, like, if you're going to do a virtual seminar over an in-person seminar, you're definitely going to want to choose a reliable, user-friendly virtual meeting platform. The one that we're on now, a lot of people know how to use Zoom. There's Microsoft Teams. There's WebEx. These are used due to their stability and ease of use. There's also a couple other ones like StreamYard. Those don't have registration options, but you can. Zoom is expensive, so other options are cheaper, but you can use Eventbrite for free as your registration. And then when they sign up, they automatically get an email with the link. So if you're going to use something like StreamYard, which is like 10 or 20 bucks a month, you don't have to pay for Zoom, which can be hundreds of dollars a month. So look for something that's inexpensive and also has high quality video, and that's easy to use. You also want to look for platforms that have some interactive elements. So like if the system you're using doesn't have interactive elements like Zoom does, but not all of the levels of Zoom have this. So like on Zoom, I can ask polls, you can have breakout rooms if you feel that's necessary. And you can ask Q&As throughout the presentation. But I'm going to give you some options in a few minutes on, if you're using something that's less expensive than Zoom, what you can use to get feedback instantly. You obviously want to record the session because you're not going to have everyone, like if it's virtual, you're not going to have everyone show up. So it's a great way to, as a follow-up, send out the recording, and that way you can ensure that they get the recording in case they want to watch it. And one of the cool hacks that I learned from a friend of mine who does virtual seminars at a high level, she uses Eventbrite as her registration, and she actually asks for a donation to a specific charity. Like she'll choose a charity, and let's say the donation is as little as $5. If someone spends $5, first of all, they have a disposable income, and second, they're going to show up because they've spent $5. The people who typically don't donate don't show up as often. So you're not charging them to attend. You're asking for a donation. So the ones that donate have a very high show up rate as opposed to the ones that don't. But choose a charity that everybody gets the warm and fuzzies around. Like, an animal shelter or something like that. So asking for a donation is huge if you want to ensure a higher attendance rate. That's a cool little virtual seminar hack that I learned. I think it's really awesome. All right, so so something for the local food bank. Yeah, exactly. Like feeding the homeless, helping kittens, things that give people the warm and fuzzies are usually the ones that they'll donate more to. Okay, in person. Obviously, you want to select a venue. You don't want to spend a lot of money doing it. At Mega Camp, there was an agent on stage who is able to rents out the conference, like a conference area or an event space in their local library, which is like next to nothing. Like it's pennies. I think she said it was like $50 for a couple hours. So look at your local library, a YMCA, something along those lines where they're not going to charge you an arm and a leg. A community center, something like that. A lot of times they're not being used regularly, but definitely the local library is a great option if they have a room that could fit, 50 people or so. So definitely look at that and make sure that, they have the proper technology. Make sure it looks professional, that it's conveniently located, that everybody knows where it is. You also want to make sure that some of these places don't have the greatest internet and video and audio visual quality. So you definitely want to make sure that where you're going, they have that. So ensure that the venue has high quality video and audio. So your presentations are clear, and make sure they have microphones, speakers, projectors, all of those things. Because some of these libraries, they're older, they don't have the money, and you would just want to make sure that you're not going to have problems when you're going in to do your presentation. Let's see where we're at now. Okay, yeah. Oh, this is the part where I was telling you about the interactive portion of it, where you can get feedback. So you want to consider using interactive technology. They do this at family reunion a lot. Or in Mega Camp, where on stage they'll put a giant QR code that you scan, and then it takes you to a page where it asks you a survey. So you want to consider using interactive technology because it promotes engagement, live polling, gathering real-time feedback. So here's a few that work really well. Slido, Slido, they work well and they're not expensive. Some of them are even free for certain levels of them. So Slido is a very popular attendance interaction tool. That's the one that Keller Williams uses specifically. You can create polls, you can have quizzes, you can have Q&A sessions. It provides analytics to understand audience engagement. I believe in some cases, people have to enter like some contact information in order to participate. So you could ask for feedback that way after the fact. And you could ask some simple questions throughout to see how they're engaging and to see what they think. So that's a great option. Ian's asking, for marketing the event, what would be a good text to send to your database and a good Facebook ads run? Yeah, let me finish these and then I'll get to that. Another one's called Poll Everywhere, POLL Everywhere. And again, same thing, live polling, Q&A. You can actually integrate Poll Everywhere into PowerPoints, into Google Slides, into Keynote. And that one does have a free version. So definitely check Poll Anywhere. Then there's another one called Mentimeter, MENTI meter. Again, same thing, real-time polling, quizzes, interactive presentations, lots of different varieties of question formats. They all kind of do the same thing. They just do them differently, and it's just a matter of preference. So check those out. And you want to incorporate your branding at the venue. So banners, posters, digital displays. You want to make sure that people see, if there's TVs on the wall, put your logo up there. You want to make sure you have some sort of stand-up banner that has your branding and your info and your contact info and all of those things, so people know who you are. So Ian is asking, what would be a good text to send to your database? I would just say, if you're doing a buyer seminar, you want to make sure that you have categorized people as buyers. And you want to make sure that the people that you're targeting are looking in similar areas, right? So I'm not going to invite people who aren't looking in this town over here to a seminar about buying houses in this town over here. So I would create a cool looking image in Designs with Command or in Canva, and invite them to a buyer seminar to learn about the steps to buying a home, the loan process, the home inspection process, and just saying that you're having this seminar to educate people about the market. The market seems a little scary to a lot of people right now with rising interest rates, and you're going to explain the process, and you could have a loan officer there explaining different types of loans. You should have an inspector there explaining the inspection process. So this all doesn't fall on you, right? Like, have the people who are experts in their field talk about those things, so you're not the one talking the entire time. And it's beneficial for them because they'll be able to meet people face to face too. So just send out an email saying you're having a seminar to explain the home buying process, the mortgage process, the inspection process. It'll be very educational. And if they're looking to purchase a home in such and such neighborhood, they're invited. Offer some refreshments. It's free of charge unless they want to donate. So that's what I would suggest. Don't make it complicated. Just an invitation. Okay, so capturing information, you could create registration forms. So, if you're doing it, if you're promoting the event through email, use an Eventbrite for the registration form. You should have something there in person in case people decide to show up. But do the Eventbrite registration form before the seminar. Collect the basic contact info, and you could add any sort of additional info that you might feel is valuable, but you don't want to ask too many questions, because the more questions you ask, the less likely they are to fill it out. So you could say name, email, phone number, do they currently own or rent? And I guess, maybe where they currently live, not their address, but maybe their town. Or you could ask for their address too. So just, four very simple questions. You definitely, like I've mentioned this before, by using some of these other platforms to communicate with them throughout the seminar, you're able to collect contact information that way. Also, have Q&A sessions, have discussions throughout the seminar. I would notice the people who are asking the most questions. Those could be very warm leads, and that would be an opportunity to set an appointment with somebody. What I would also say is have, if you can, maybe a panel of experts. So like I said, maybe title, inspector, mortgage, and if you're an attorney state, have an attorney. What I would also offer to entice people to sign up is educational pieces of info, maybe like an ebook, a one-pager that explains certain aspects. I mentioned leveraging Eventbrite. And then the people whose information that you have, definitely in the long term, keep them engaged with regular updates, market insights, personalized advice to nurture the relationship until they're ready to transact. That just goes without saying. If you have their current home address from the sign up, I would send them a handwritten card. I would also attempt to set actual appointments at the seminar. If you notice that someone is more engaged than someone else, I would approach those people and I would then go for an appointment. I already mentioned this, inviting guests so you're not the only one who's kind of holding down the fort. Inspectors, mortgage lending, etc., and organizing some panels that can help deep dive into certain topics to get different perspectives. The follow-up. I mentioned a little bit about nurturing with regular updates, but and I also said a thank you note. And you could also send a copy of the presentation and a copy of the recording if you're filming it in person. An invitation for a one-on-one consult if you haven't already done that. And try to personalize your follow-up as much as you possibly can. Send the thank you note within 24 to 48 hours to keep the momentum going. You could also put them on a text campaign. If you're using smart plans within Command, you can create a text campaign to follow up. Manage the leads within your CRM. Share the relevant content like I mentioned before. And also, if they're willing to come to another seminar, if they want more information, if they don't feel like they got everything, that will keep them engaged. But I think, if people show up to a home buying or home selling seminar, all of those are really hot leads. You just have to know how to identify the ones who are ready now, as opposed to the ones that are ready, 6, 9, 12 months down the line. And that's going to be you're going to notice the ones who are asking the most questions, the ones who are engaged the most, and so on and so forth. So those are my tips for creating the event, branding it, and whether you're going to do in person or virtual, and then capturing information and the value you're going to provide in the follow-up. Are there any questions, you guys? Let me know if you have any questions, comments. Anyone doing this already that wants to add something that maybe I missed? Anybody? Bueller? Awesome. We're all experts already. Love it.
So many great ideas.
A lot of good ideas. Yeah. A lot of good ideas. Your database and social media are your best friends when it comes to this. You could even, send a mailer out to an apartment complex with renters. If you're looking to do a buyer seminar, you could also, send a flyer out to, a luxury, or a luxury, community where the turnover rate is slightly higher, things like that. But, through social media, through email with your database, those things are going to be the best way to get in front of people, and making sure that you're communicating with them to find out, what they would most like to learn about, because people love to be asked those questions, then that gives them the sense that you care more. So surveying your database, asking their feedback on what they want to learn about, the ones that answer are the ones that are most likely to show up. And again, the donation to charity is a huge one to ensure that people show up. The best way to get the names of renters in any complex, I think, you could look you could definitely ask a title company for that, if I'm not mistaken. You can probably get that type of information from a service called Cole Realty Resource. They have info on homeowners and renters. And another great option for you would be to also target absentee owners, anyone who might be a landlord for a seller seminar. That could be a good option too. But yeah, your title company should have that. And then a Cole Realty Resource, COLE Realty Resource, has been around for a very long time, and they have a lot of contact information and physical addresses, and who's a renter and who's not, and who's absentee and who's not, so on and so forth. So those are some options for you. Thanks, guys. I appreciate you guys being here. Hopefully we'll see you tomorrow, and have a great day.